BHS, welcome back to The Roar. I'm Isabella. Due to all the absences we've had at school, we don't have any main events to highlight this time, but we're going to go ahead and right on to sports.
Welcome back to Line Sports Central. I'm Mickey, and I'm here to give you my predictions on the NFL awards. For the MVP, I got, to be honest, it's been changing. First, it was Lamar, mainly because he was playing good, but then Josh Allen. Then right now, for how I've been looking at it, I feel like Saquon Barkley. I don't want to be biased, mainly because I'm an Eagles fan. He's on the Eagles, but I feel like Saquon Barkley deserves it, mainly because of what he's been doing in the postseason and what he's been doing in the regular season. And bro hurdled someone backwards, and what other running back or player did that? For Offensive Player of the Year, I got Joe Burrow. He's leading in multiple stats, like touchdowns, passing attempts, and passing yards. And yet he's still only 9-8, mainly because of the defense. And yet, if he had a better defense, they would be in the playoffs. For Defensive Player of the Year, I got Zach Bond, mainly because he came from a team that he was on a special teams for, and now he came to the Eagles being an all-pro type of player. And he has multiple breakups, multiple tackles, and has a few interceptions up his sleeve. What the MVP means, it means basically the most valuable player in the NFL, which means if they were taken off a team, basically that team wouldn't really perform as well as they did during the time they were on the team. Offensive player basically means the same thing, but mainly for offense, not defense, and only can go to obviously offensive. Same thing with the defensive, just like how offensive player is, it's just for defensive. For these rookie awards, and if you don't know what rookie means in the NFL, it's obviously meaning it's their first season of all time, in their career in the NFL. They're just coming from college to the pro league, and for this rookie of the year, I got Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels has had an amazing season. Sad at what happened during that NFC championship. To be honest, I don't think that was his fault. I feel like it was the other players that fumbled away. I mean, that interception was his fault, but we don't speak upon that. But I feel like he deserves it mainly because of what he's been producing, and for what Rookie of the Year means. It means for only rookies. It's a rookie only reward, and it's for the best rookie in the entire season. And Offensive Rookie of the Year basically means the same thing, but for offensive players, that's a rookie. I'm giving it to Brock Bowers. Bro is leading the tight ends and receiving yards and targets and catches. So I feel like he deserves it, especially the team that he is on. He's on the Raiders, putting up those numbers. He has over 1,100 receiving yards, I mean. For the defensive, I got Cooper DeJean. Bro started week 6 and is basically high for a cornerback 3 or a slot corner in his perspective of all slot corners in the league. Also, for the people that don't know what that means, it means basically the person who came back from a serious injury, and this is stated by the NFL too, NFL executives. It's coming from a bad injury, not from a bad team, not from not doing good the last season. It's coming from a bad injury. I got Joe Burrow when Burrow could barely throw off that injury that he had last season. So he's leading in multiple stats, just like I said for the offensive player. And for Coach of the Year, there's multiple candidates that it's hard to choose from, like Dan Quinn, Dan Campbell, and Andy Reid. But I do got Dan Quinn winning it. Bro took a 4-12 Commanders team to 12-5, making the NFC Championship, and basically almost going to the Super Bowl in his first year with the Commanders. Thank you for watching Line Sports Central. These are my picks. Might not happen. Hope they do. The people I chose need it.
Now, on to a story over National Lego Day with Hudson.
Hey guys, welcome back to a completely normal episode of The Roar with your ordinary host, Hudson Lee. January is full of a bunch of national holidays, but one of those national holidays really sticks out. January 28th is National Lego Day, and just the sound of that might rebuild some past memories of childhood for all of our viewers. Well, I actually have a professional Lego collector, Eric Hagman. Over to you, Hudson. Thank you. I'm here with Eric Hagman. Tell us about your Lego collection.
Well, as you can see here, I've kind of gotten into the castle collection recently. But yeah, this is what they call the medieval town square. That was kind of neat because it has a lot of sort of things you see around the castle that like the marketplace and the tower and kind of how the villagers would do some things. And then here we got the castle, Lion Knights castle set that I'm building. But basically as a kid, they had the castle sets were really big and I never got a chance to kind of build them as a kid like I wanted to. So when they started coming out with them, I thought, okay, this would be really cool to finally get the sets I wanted as a kid, and especially now that I can afford them, because Legos are expensive as a kid. But so right now, this is kind of what I've been doing recently.
All right. How many years did it take to get the collection that you've created?
Oh gosh, well, I know I have a lot still from a kid from the 90s and early 2000s. I started getting some, but really, it's been most recent years where I really started kind of wanting to collect. And it started off with the big Ultimate Collector Series Star Wars sets. I would get those and kind of, those would take me months. I would just off and on work on those. Since they're really expensive, I always joke with people kind of like, hey, get the most bang for my buck. So I would take my time with them because they could be hundreds of dollars and, I don't want to finish them too quickly. So I started on that and just kind of built from that. And really the last couple of years is when I just really started expanding. I thought, get a lot of the other sets I've been kind of wanting, and kind of my interests have changed. Like a year ago, I was like, I'm going to start getting a Lego car. They had one of those that looked kind of cool. So, basically it's one of those, my interests would kind of change, and I would just, okay, I'm going to start buying these now and then do that. So,
Your all-time favorite build that you've...
probably it would be the Millennium Falcon Ultimate Collector Series. Because funny story with that, back in, was it 2007, I believe, they had a Ultimate Collection. It was about 5,000 pieces. It was $500 at the time. And I was like, I don't have enough money for this for my job. One day, hopefully I'll get it. And sadly, I never was able to, and then they retired the set. So I was like, let me look online to kind of see what they're worth. And a few years later, I started getting more money. I think I can afford it now. Well, they started listing them for about $5,000 or more. Ooh. So I'm thinking, oh, great, that's never going to happen, sadly. So I was kind of, out of luck on that. And it actually got to a point where I was looking at some knockoffs to want to buy. But then Lego announced, I think, the 10-year anniversary must have been when the new movies came out. Like, hey, we got a new, bigger, improved Millennium set. Even though they listed it for $800, I think that's a lot of money. But I thought, well, $800 is definitely cheaper than $5,000. Yeah. So I was like, I'm definitely not missing this one, which I'm definitely glad I got it because it's much bigger, much more impressive, and it's like 7,500 pieces. So that took about half a year off and on building it, but it is by far the most impressive set that I've done. It was a lot of fun.
What does Lego mean for you? Like, how nostalgic is Lego?
I guess it's one of those, it's just, as a kid, it's just the fun, the creativity of it, and just enjoying things like that. Like, I've always been one of those, I like to be active and kind of build stuff. You get the rush, it's fun to build, but then having a completed model, it's just looks really cool to say, hey, you completed a project. So especially it's one of those that feels like Lego kind of grew up because there's a lot of, knocking these over. But yeah, as a kid, it had a lot of the fun sets, but it felt like, okay, you may not have enough money to afford it, but as you grew up, I think Lego noticed that. So it feels like it's become a bigger hobby now for adults because they have a lot more adult themed sets. Like a lot of the ones I have, they're rated 18 plus because they're meant, not to play with it, kind of build as models. So it's just, to me, it's been a fun, relaxing hobby. Sometimes after a long day of work or doing things, it's just nice to kind of maybe put some music on, or lately I've been, kind of doing an audiobook and then just kind of get into building and just kind of zone out and just kind of a nice escape from the world.
And now on to the next segment.
Now finally, on to Curriculum Night with Ethan.
I'm here at Prattville High School's Curriculum Night, where students can choose to learn more information about what curriculums they might want to take. As you can see, there's a lot of students here, but if you missed it, it's okay. You can go to the website or talk to a counselor to get more information about what electives you might want to take next year. Many options are provided for upcoming students, as well as students that have already been here, such as JROTC, TV production, math, and dual enrollment options. There's also information provided about what classes and credits you need to take to graduate. Tonight has been very successful in helping students determine what classes and careers they might want to have in the future. On to the next segment.
This is Cole Brown with the current events on Prattville High School, and I'm here today with our career coach at Prattville High School for a short interview. First, who are you and what is your role in helping students?
Okay. My name is Mrs. Hedgepeth, and I'm the career coach here at Prattville High School. I also have several other schools in the district. And my role is just to help students figure out what they want to do in terms of their careers, and then also help them with their transition to college if they're looking to go to college.
Yes, ma'am. Next up, where can students find you in Prattville High?
So I'm located in room L7, which is in the language pod on the senior hallway. I'm here most days, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. However, I do have several schools. I have about 6 schools total. So the best way to reach me is to set up an appointment versus just stopping by.
Yes, sir. And what periods would you say are the best for meeting you?
Any period of the day, just like I said, just reach out to me and maybe make an appointment, and that's probably the best way we can meet up.
Yes, sir. And you're talking about appointments. How can students reach you for scheduling those?
Okay, so the best way is to email me, and my email is, I'll spell it because it's kind of hard if I just say it, leah.hedgpeth@acboe.net, or they can go to their counselors and talk to them and let them know that they want to make an appointment with me.
Yes, ma'am. Next up, would you say meeting a career coach is important for high school students?
Yes, I think it's really helpful to have someone to help you do some career exploration. I can do career assessments, and I've helped several students actually decide on their career paths, majors, companies they want to work for. So I think it really does pay off just to kind of have an outside person maybe help you identify what you might not have thought of on your own. So I do think it could be helpful for some students.
And what would you say is a way that students can prepare for college while they're still in high school?
So I think it's really good to kind of start thinking about, one, if you want to go to a traditional college, maybe even starting 10th grade year, and then for sure maybe the summer of 10th grade year get out and do some college visits, and then 11th grade year definitely kind of start to formulate that list, because 12th grade year you're definitely going to be applying. For those that don't want to go to college, there's plenty of solid career paths where you can make a good living, and again, I can help assist with that.
Yes, ma'am. And finally, do you have any personal comments or promotions?
Yes, so we do have a couple of opportunities coming up for students that are graduating, looking to go straight to work. Central Alabama Electric Co-op is actually coming on January 29th next week, and they have a scholarship for lineman school for all of our young ladies and young men that are interested in a career. Come out. There are posters up. We're putting it out on Parent Square, and you can scan the QR code. It's from 8:30 to 9:30 in the Media Center. We've also got something coming up on February 12th with Fame. They're another industry partner, and they help students go to work at companies like Coca-Cola, Hyundai, lots of the big companies in our area. We can help get you to work. For other seniors that are going straight to college, I know it's FAFSA time. I can help with that student aid or FAFSA if you need help, as well as scholarships.
All right. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
That's all we have for this week. Make sure to tune in next week for more news and sports. I'm Isabella, and you just watched The Roar.